Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of Season 1, Episode 4 of Sweet Magnolias, titled Lay It All Down. So, Brad's suit kind of gets dropped. Lawsuit kind of gets dropped. We learn what Isaac said that he had about Brad. He had, I guess, proof, or he was a witness and was willing to come forward. So, now that there's a witness, can't really do shit, because that's a felony. Or a misdemeanor, one of those things. So, we also see that the rumors of Cal and Maddie are flying like crazy, to the point where it reaches Tyler. So Dana Sue ends up passing out, fainting at work, and she's taken to the hospital. And she is diagnosed as pre-diabetic or something like that. We also see Eric, getting in on the action and basically, knowing what to do and everything. He seemed pretty shaken up at the hospital too, so maybe he lost someone. Maybe that's part of his backstory. I thought they were pushing the Eric Helen agenda. This episode proved me wrong, kinda, because we're introduced to Miss Francis's nephew, Ryan, who's Helen's former flame. Also, I'm pretty sure they mentioned it in like an earlier episode. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, maybe I'm just a dumbass. But Miss Francis isn't dead. I thought she was dead. I'm really glad she's not dead, because she's an awesome character. So Mary Vaughn, the mayor's wife, and the Sweet Magnolias rival, basically called Ryan and to shut down the spa. The thing is, his aunt clocked it immediately. It isn't about the house. So he was trying to declare the house a historic site so they couldn't work on it. But his aunt clocked it immediately. It's not about the house, it's about Helen. And she said, "That's a stupid ass way to try and get Helen back." Also, Miss Francis is friends with Maddie's mom, and that's funny as hell. I just think that's funny as hell. So, Dana Sue is, of course, aggressive with all her friends and her daughter, trying to, help keep her alive, because that's such, a bad thing. Although she does admit that she does admit that it's not so much them trying to help her, and more so her inability to accept the help. She ends up kind of, realizing she was kind of a bitch when she does what she does best. She kind of heals by cooking food, I guess, and helping people learn to cook food. She goes to the VA, I think it's the VA or something like that, or something to do with veterans, and teaches them how to cook catfish. So Cal confronts... So after a night at the bar with his friend Trotter, I think the Wikipedia said his name was. Trotter also works at is gonna work at the spa, I think. Anyway, so some lady at the bar tried to shoot their shot with Cal, and he just kind of, shut it down a bit. Which I guess that, this lady kind of hitting on him kind of made him realize that he wanted Maddie. So, he went up to Maddie and told her straight up that he doesn't want to be her friend. He wants to be something more. He laid it all down, and when she said, "I don't know what to think," correct response, "That's okay. I just wanted you to know where I stood." I also, I didn't take the scene as him saying that it's either you date me or we're not friends. It's just, he'd be fine if she came back and said, I don't want to be together, I'm pretty positive he'd say, all right, that's fine, we're still friends. We can be friends. But that's just him, like, saying, yeah, I'm fine with being friends, but, you know, I'd like us to be more. There's me, you know, stating my stance. Anyway, so the team wins and celebrates for pizza, and Bill comes over to, you know, congratulate Tyler. And he notices Cal and Maddie, you know, talking together. He ends up leaving abruptly and kind of ranting in the car about it to his wife, his mistress. And all I can... So Noreen looked quite done with that. I guess, you know, obviously he's ranting about his wife, not his ex-wife. I don't know the status anymore. I don't really know the status of them. I'm just gonna call them them exes, because they are. I just don't know where the legal standing is with them. His ex-wife dating a new man. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure that this relationship started while he was married to Maddie. So, you know, I mean, so that makes it kind of hard to really feel bad for Noreen. It's just like, sucks to suck, I guess. Unfortunately, Bill's daughter Katie saw him there. And in a conversation with Annie, she asked if... She said she basically kind of doesn't know if her father doesn't love her anymore, which is like, aw, Bill, stop being a bitch. Anyway, so Helen gets called by Ryan. So Annie does it, or Dana Sue apologizes to Annie. And Ryan ends up talking to Helen and basically taking her through the house and the memory of their relationship. And the episode ends with them making out, which is okay. I was fully thinking we were going to get an Eric-Helen relationship. I don't know who the fuck this Ryan is, but we'll see where it goes. I don't know what they're... Maybe it's going to be kind of like a love triangle? Maybe? I don't know. Or maybe it's a different... They kind of wrote these episodes differently. Maybe they were thinking love interest for Eric, but now they're just kind of changed it to like a flirty little friendship between the two of them. I don't know. So I'm guessing there's probably going to be an argument between Bill and Maddie about Cal. Probably an argument between Tyler and Maddie too. Also, it seems they're setting this stone, laying the groundwork for a Annie and Tyler relationship, which I can see getting the brothers into an argument, because Kyle likes Annie. Overall, this episode was pretty fun. I think this was a step up from the last one. I gave the last one a 7, but I'm not sure that's... I'm going to give it the same rating, a 7, but I think this is definitely a higher 7 than the last one. You know what? I'll give it an 8. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.